Hello and welcome to Ask TJ About Marketing. I'm your host, Terry Johnson from Terry Johnson Online. Here today to help you with those basic marketing questions that you may have had and never gotten the answer, or you found that there's just so much confusing information online, and who wants to wade through all of that information and try to find the right answer to your questions? Well, this is the place where you're going to get your questions answered about marketing. So I hope you're ready for today's question. And today's question is, well, we're talking about optimizing your content strategy, your marketing plan. And I've been pushing content a lot because why? Because that is what grows your business. That is what pushes your engine online. If you're not making content, and we talked about this, go back and watch the replays, not regular content. Last week we talked about epic content, and we talked about why you need epic content. I explained what it was, why it's necessary. So I'm not going to go over that today, but we're going to talk about optimizing that epic content. Content is everything online. Like I said, it's your fuel for your engine. If you don't have content, you don't have anything going on online, right? Am I right?
That's right.
Right. So you got to. And I'm glad I said fuel, because every time we have these chats, things just pop in my head. So I was thinking about gas and gas prices. What kind of gas do you put in your car? You put regular gas, just ordinary gas? No, you probably, depending on your budget, you go for premium. Why?
Because the premium is the better quality.
Yes, better quality. That is what you have to have today. Now, we're talking about going into the metaverse and Web 3.0. The regular old gas ain't going to cut it. It's not. And I'm here to tell you that this is work. It is work. It's work to do this. So you have to figure out, when do I have time to make epic content?
We all saw the commercial with Martha Stewart and the girl in the where she had an other apartment on the other side of her wall.
That
was genius as far as getting people drawn in. More users probably got on TikTok just to find out what was on the other side of that wall.
Right. Curiosity. Again, that's part of entertainment. And I said your content has to educate, inspire, entertain. It has to get attention. And you don't do it by, the dance. If you're not a dancer, don't dance. And this one person I follow everywhere, and they're on TikTok now, and they're doing weird stuff. And I'm like, you're not a dancer. Why are you doing that? Come on here and talk about SEO. Right. But you don't have to dance to tell me about SEO, because that's not your market. Your market is 40 and up.
So when you talked about documenting versus creating the content, that one commercial on TikTok, she documented what happened to her, about how she felt air coming from the window and stuff. She was documenting.
She told the
story.
That's it.
And everybody was all intrigued with the story. I wonder, where is this going? Is she gonna go back behind the wall?
I wonder what's gonna happen.
Right. She told the story, and people were engaged.
Yes.
She optimized her content.
Yes. Because she told the story.
Yeah. So I'm thinking, okay, tell the story. Tell us a story.
Tell the story. And it's not once upon a time. It is a storytelling is truthful, and it's documenting. It's not okay. Well, you're gonna set up on here, and I'm gonna set the camera up, and you're gonna run up and say that kind of stuff. Yeah, there is a market for that. Those are, I call them those are the Gen Z influencers that they set up trick shots and all that. That's not what business owners should be doing. Trick shots and all that. Who got the time? If you've got time, or you got the budget to pay somebody to do that and it works, do it. But we're talking about your content that's organic, that you're doing it naturally because you want to attract an audience that becomes a customer. That's what your purpose, you're optimizing your content for. You're doing content because you want to attract the audience. And I was listening to Mario Armstrong on his Instagram. So he was talking about Kanye West documentary, which I saw. I think it's on Netflix. Yeah. And I saw it. I said, oh, I'm gonna watch that later. But he broke it down, and it's gonna be 3 parts. He did part 1 where he was talking about how Kanye was doing stuff and nobody was feeling it at the beginning because he was a producer and he wanted to be a rapper. And everybody was like, no, this and that. And he's saying that he was talking about you have to have you can't change yourself or your content to meet, well, I gotta fit the audience, or I gotta, whatever the feedback you're getting. He said you gotta do you, because it may be the wrong time that you're hitting with your content, with who you are. So right. He was saying like Kanye was trying to convince them of something, and they were like, nah, we're not feeling that. But this was in the early days when he was with I think it was with Rockefeller Records. This was early, like his early, like before he started doing his album. So it was a while back. It wasn't the Kanye we have today. So see, he was trying to convince, I forgot how Mario said it. He said you don't make people eat something if they don't want it. Basically like that. Like you have to give the audience, it has to be the right audience. And if you're trying something and it doesn't work, he's saying don't tweak what you're doing. It's not the right time or the right audience, but you can't make them consume it. Kind of like what he was saying. And I was like, that was good.
That's really good. So you're not changing who you are. You're waiting for the audience to catch up to you.
That's it. That's what he was saying. Basically, the audience has to catch up to you. So he's saying Kanye was ahead of his time, because this is what 20 years ago, whatever it was. And he was saying, I don't want to produce, I want to rap. And the message wasn't hitting with the audience at the time because he was known as the producer. So I say that to say that you produce your content as you are. Getting back to TikTok, if you're not a dancer, please don't dance. We've given lots of explanations. There's older folks on TikTok, there's doctors, nurses, lawyers, there's everything there, because it's all content topic based. It's not who you follow. Right. So if you like a particular topic and you go to TikTok, search for it and watch the videos of TikTok. Next time we'll serve it to you. So that's serving your audience. That's optimizing the content. Yep. Everybody's not your audience. Everybody's not your customer. So you got to say, hey, I want, Facebook has 2 whatever billion users. I want all of those people to buy from me. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen because those people aren't interested in what you have to offer. So you got to optimize your content to hit the right target audience. We talked about the details of finding that. And when those two things meet, it's like magnets. It just comes together. So that's why it's not hard. Once you do all the groundwork, the legwork, and that's what we've been laying since December, I was giving you the legwork. You make the plan, you make the strategy. These are the parts. And once you do that, you don't have to do it all over again. You might have to fine tune it, but the work is done. Once they build the highway, what do? You travel on it.
You just drive the car on it.
You drive the car, and guess what? Do they build the highway every year? No, they go and they look at it and inspect it. And that's part of what's going on with the government now. Is like they're trying to put money together to look at these bridges, tunnels, and things in that, because they've already been built. So now it's a maintenance thing. It's an optimization, making sure this highway is safe, that it gets people to where they gotta go.
Right.
Okay? That's what you gotta do with your content. Your content has to drive people to what? Your own media. That's your website. That's your email list.
Yes.
Facebook ain't your own media. TikTok ain't your own media.
Nope.
Instagram, you don't own that. Don't get comfortable, people. Don't get comfortable with Facebook and Instagram and TikTok. These are tools of attention to draw people to your thing that you own. I said we talked about that before. Was your link? All you're doing is getting them to click your link in your bio to your own media, where they get on a list to buy later after you talk to some more, or they buy instantly. It's up to you, but they have to do something. That's your call to action. It's great to make content, but that content has to work.
Right.
If you're in business. Now, if you're an influencer, that's a whole nother, you're into brand deal, sponsorships, blah, blah, blah. That's a different road. We're not on that road. And a lot of this advice that you see online for social media marketing is for the influencers, and we don't want that.
No, because the influencer already has the audience. They play to the audience. And if we are in business, we are probably building our audience and our community. And you don't build your audience and community with the things that the influencer does.
Right. Two different things. And you have to see that. So again, TikTok, you don't have to dance, be yourself. Instagram, be yourself. Yes, engagement is totally down on Instagram, but there are a couple things you could do to attract people on Instagram. And guess what? It's hard work because you got to keep doing it every day. Oh man, I got to make content today. Well, if you do a few things like batch content on the weekends or whenever you have free time, do that. But make sure it's optimized. It provides value. It's something that somebody wants to see. Don't follow what everybody else is doing because their industry doesn't fit your industry.
Right. So I would say like their DNA is not your DNA.
No.
So you're going to get some weird thing if you try and do what they do, and what they do works for them because of their particular DNA.
Right.
Just like, Frankenstein. You can't take the body parts out of the dead people and put them together and think it's going to be okay.
Reanimate it.
This ain't working. It did not work for him. It ain't gonna work for you. You can't Frankenstein some stuff together. You got to be you.
Relax. Just keep going on the road you built, the highway you built, and you'll get there. You'll get there by running your own race. So that's what I mean by your content, that you have to optimize it, that you know the rules of, okay, this is what you do to make your content, but how do you optimize it to maximize the influence of it online to grow that community? That's what you need to do. You need people to follow you or to know where you are and know what you're about. And the best way to do that is online, and you have to be some kind of consistency. Post once a week, once every 3 days, once a day, however you want to do it, but have some kind of consistency so your audience knows you're going to post at noon Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and you got something they need to hear. Doesn't have to be every day 10 times a day.
Correct. And when I was looking at I was studying Instagram Live and stuff like that, what got me was nobody was consistently doing it at the same time. Mm-hmm. And that's what I'm talking about. So be consistent enough for the people to find you and then notify them as well. And the whole thing is communication with your people.
Yes.
Talk to them, let them know what's happening. And you can let them know what's happening in multiple ways.
Right. This valuable content that you do consistently.
Yes.
So when people follow you, that's what they're going to do, whether it's a day or 5 days later.
Because you have something, because we keep talking about this. This is since day one, we have been talking about that. Have something to say worth saying. Right.
Have it to say worth saying, promote it, and you got to optimize. You got to keep putting it out. So for example, his live on Instagram, if he wanted to today, he could take a snippet and put it on the story and say, hey, I did this powerful live yesterday. Go check it out. Guess what? It gets re-engagement. Instagram says, what's going on? This was live yesterday, but it's getting re-engagement today. Why? Because you optimize it, you promoted it. So you have to do this work. Why? Optimizing your content, promoting your content. You're okay. You pick the strawberries. You just let them sit on the table. No, there's some more work to do. You gotta wash them. You gotta cut the little top off. You don't want sugar on it. You gotta make a dessert. That's the process I'm talking about. You've made the content. You're just gonna let it lie around and then get upset. Oh, I gotta make more content. No, you don't. Take something from last year. So that's why I'm talking about optimizing your content. Don't reinvent the wheel. Go, hey, I got something that I could, repackage and share. So you want your content to work. You want to optimize it. And that's the deal.
These are really good tips, TJ.
That's what you need to do. So optimize your content. Think of ways that you can make this content work for you, because you put a lot of work into it.
Right. So what the recap for me was tell stories rather than just give direction. You know what I mean? So I'm telling stories, thinking of interesting stories, and they can be little micro stories too. Not you don't have to be big. You know what? Today I saw I was looking at somebody's Twitter today, and they were just talking about how it was a short little story about how the person sold, their buyer purchased a home, and they got their keys, and it turns out it was their birthday. But that was a little story. That was an engaging, very short, little engaging story. It wasn't a video or anything, but I was like, oh, that's nice.
It doesn't have to be War and Peace. It doesn't have to be this big, thick novel. Short and sweet, as long as you get the point across. That's it. Get the point across. That's like with YouTube. They always tell you start with what the video is about. Don't go into this long intro and, hey, no. People want to see what it's about, or they're going to click away. So that's what I mean about to the point. It doesn't have to be a long novel. Hit it and quit it. Put the content out and keep rolling. Whether it works or not, oh well. Put out something different. Contrast the two. Look at your analytics and see what's working and put more of that out. It's really simple. So you want to do those things to optimize your content so you have more exposure to a newer audience, you're being seen, and increasing your reach online means that you're increasing your audience, which in turn can increase your customers, because your customers come from your audience. And all in there, you're building a community to keep people invested in your business and what you're doing. So one of the other things was be relevant, stay on topic with your content. You want to optimize what you want to be known for. That gets back to what I was just saying about Instagram. Don't be all over the place. You want to write content that is specifically for your audience. And once you do that, you want to optimize it so it spreads out and brings all this joy back to your business. So I hope today's discussion helped you with the answer to your question, and you found all the information that you need to know about this particular topic. Now, if you didn't get the answer, or you need some more clarification, or you just need a little bit more information, that's okay. Reach out to me at terryjohnsononline.com, or find me on your favorite platform, Terry Johnson Online. Now, if you search Terry Johnson Online, you're going to find me. You're going to find my profile, and then you can reach out to me, leave a question, leave a DM, ask a question. I'm here to help you find the answer that you need. So that's it for this week and today's question. I'll see you next time.